Is Saxenda the best weight loss medicine so far? Hello everyone, if you are looking for exclusive deals, blogs, educational content every week delivered to your email, subscribe to our newsletter at sugarmds.com right now. Weight loss is a great subject of debate, right? Some people argued that the best way to lose weight is through diet and exercise, while others maintain that the weight loss medications are the most effective option because diets don't stick most of the time, right? Well, Saxenda is a weight loss medication. That's what we're going to talk about today. It has been shown to be effective in helping people to lose weight, but is it really necessary? Well, side effects, we'll talk all about that. In one study, for example, participants who took Saxenda lost an average of 5% of their body weight. Is that significant to you? While those who did not take the medication and just did the diet and exercise, they only lost 2% in the same amount of time. Well, that actually suggests that Saxenda actually can help people with weight loss more effectively than just diet and exercise alone. Now, as you know, there is no one-size-fits-all solution for weight loss. But Saxenda, for some people, may be an effective option for those who are looking to lose weight. Or is it? Well, let's hear more about this medication so you can make the best decision if it is worth for you or if it is worth the shot. Now, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, approved liraglutide, right, as a treatment for long-term weight management. Again, liraglutide is the Saxenda. And victoza, but Saxenda is the medication for weight loss. Made by Novo Nordisk, and they gave the name Saxenda, although the generic name is liraglutide. That is the fourth weight loss drug that FDA has approved since 2012. So what is really Saxenda then, right? Well, Saxenda is actually an injection. So if you think that it's a pill, forget that. It's an injection. It is a daily injection. It is similar to victoza if you have experience with victoza for type 2 diabetes. So it's just a higher dose of that. And we call these group of medications typically GLP-1 receptor agonists because, we have GLP-1 receptors in our body and they work to stimulate them. Byetta was the earlier drug that does a similar thing, for example, or Bydureon as well. Now, one of the first FDA-approved weight loss drug in that class. Now, who is Saxenda is really meant for? Well, Saxenda has been approved for use in adults, not for kids, with a body mass index of 30 or more. So if you don't know what your body mass index right now, go find it, just Google it, you will just punch some numbers and you will find out. But if you have a BMI of 27 and you have some other weight-related problems such as diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, then it is still indicated for you. Now, it is of course always indicated to use with the diet and exercise to help for your weight problems in the long term. Now, it is not meant to replace eating right or working out, right? Did I say that? No, it doesn't do that. Well, it has been tested in 3 clinical trials to see how safe and effective it is. In total, about 4,800 obese and overweight people took part in these studies. Now, in a clinical trial that looked at people without diabetes, those who took Saxenda lost on average around 5% of their body weight, and that trial also found that 62% of people who took Saxenda lost at least 5% of their body weight. Of course, some people lost more and some people lost less, but that's the average, right? Now, in another clinical trial that looked at people with type 2 diabetes who were given Saxenda, they actually lost a little bit less, around 4% of their body weight compared to those diabetics who were not given the Saxenda. But almost 50% of people who took Saxenda lost at least 5% of their body weight in that study as well, compared to only 16% of those people who took placebo, but they still continue to exercise and diet. So it looks like Saxenda may be a little better at helping people lose weight if they don't have diabetes as well. So it is for diabetics and non-diabetics. So it is actually medication for non-diabetics more than diabetics because diabetics can get their victoza, right? But if you have diabetes and you're on Saxenda, you will definitely get very good results. Now, FDA has put a black box warning on Saxenda, by the way. because it can induce thyroid gland tumors that are super rare. They're not the typical tumors, but it has been only shown in rodents like rats, so it's not seen in humans, thank God. Same thing also for pancreatitis, can be seen actually in humans, but that can be life-threatening. It's rare, but you have to keep in mind that if you had pancreatitis, be cautious about that. If you have gallbladder disease, if you have kidney disease, you have to be careful about using Saxenda as well. Sometimes even suicidal thoughts have been reported by Saxenda users, although it's not a psychiatric drug, so go figure. Saxenda can also make your heart beat a little faster. So if you are having AFib problems or heart rate problems, you may want to hold off on that Saxenda medication, right? So in clinical trials, the most common actually side effect of Saxenda was, none of that, was actually nausea, constipation, vomiting, diarrhea, loss of appetite, which is not a side effect, this is what we want, and low blood sugar if you are already taking insulin or sulfonylurea and so forth. Now, who shouldn't really take Saxenda, right? Well, there's something called multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome 2. So if you have that in your family, you should not take Saxenda. Or if you have a personal or a first-degree family member with cancer called medullary thyroid cancer, not every thyroid cancer, just a medullary thyroid cancer, then you should not take Saxenda, right? Children, for example, FDA is requiring clinical trials for effectiveness in children right now, and I think they will be effective in children as well. But pregnant women or breastfeeding women also are not a good candidate. If you have had an allergic reaction to victoza, for example, it's not a good idea to use Saxenda because it's the same thing. So again, there are a couple other things that you need to keep in mind that FDA points out, and that is because the FDA wants the Saxenda still do certain things, certain studies to be done. And one of them is continuous clinical trials to see how it is effective for children. And they want them to keep a registry for medullary thyroid cancer just in case that starts happening to human beings, although so far so good. And then also they want a study to find out what happens to the development if somebody pregnant or rats in that regard gets pregnant and use the Saxenda, what happens to their offsprings. And they want an analysis on how likely it is that the woman taking Saxenda will get breast cancer, so those studies are ongoing as well. We don't know if they will get a cancer or not. FDA just requires them, doesn't mean that it does anything wrong. So it's up to you to decide if you want to jump on board and consider the Saxenda for yourself. There are some other medications in the market called Wegovy, made by the same company, which we also have a video for if you're interested in hearing about that as well. So I hope that video helped you understand a little bit more about Saxenda. Well, if it did, please let us know, write a comment, share this video, subscribe to my channel, and go to my website. Please subscribe to newsletters. You will not regret it. We have a lot of exclusive deals and good information that comes to your email once a week. Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying this channel so far, and I hope you subscribed already. If you didn't, do it. And if you did, watch this video right there. I think that will help you too.